fly box. And for this month, we're going to do some midge patterns, which are winter flies. I'm going to show you a little dry fly with a trailing shuck there. So in this month's box, I sent you some clear tubing, midge tubing. You use it for a lot of stuff, but I'm just going to show you a little trick to put a trailing shuck to mimic those hatching midges. So we're going to use the size 16 scud hook, 8/0 thread, and we'll just start our thread somewhere in the middle, over the top, away from us. And I know it's kind of tight quarters there with the small of hook and these materials that we're tying in there, so it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but you'll have to practice this a little bit. Okay, so what we'll do first is take this midge tubing and just position it on top of the hook where we can bring our thread around loosely and kind of grab a hold of it there. And then just try to hold it right on top. You can slightly stretch it and tie it down around the bend of the hook and try to make nice even wraps like that as we work our way around, because we're going to use, it's going to have a thread body, so we want to be able to have a clean body there. Okay, once we're there, take this tubing now and just twist it. Make 4 or 5 twists like that, and then we're going to just fold it back over itself and then let it untwist against itself, and that'll create that segmented shuck look like that. And we'll just pinch it right there, and then just carefully pin that with our fingers where we can gather it. And secure it in there. So what I did is, as I'm holding on to it, you can just pinch the thread. So I can pinch it and slide it down through, and then that'll tie down that plastic right there. All right, so that leaves a little shuck out the back. Now we can take the front part and trim that off. Now let's carefully again make this body. We're going to get a little bit of a hump there off the back, just from all of that material that we've tied down. So let's just work our way back and forth and fill that in and try to create that nice even body. You can put a little ribbing on this fly, give it a segmented look, and I'm going to do that with this extra small wire. White thread makes very good ribbing for this. Remember, this is actually a dry fly, so we don't want to put real heavy wire, so I have a very small, extra small wire. Let's just tie that in along the side of the hook, and now we should be creating that underbody, and come right back forward and just try to make a nice clean body there like that. All right, let's position that hook a little different. Okay, now we can wrap this wire to build that rib. Working our way forward. And once we get here to the front, we'll just hold that straight up in the air and drop our thread over with our left hand about 3 times. This is pretty thin wire that you should be able to helicopter that off, or just snip it with your scissors. All right, for the front part of the hook, we're going to use this whiting dry fly hackle. So I sent some that's really small for size like 20s. You could probably get away with a 22 with some of these feathers. One feather will tie you at least a dozen flies. Okay, so I just fanned out from the butt section there a little part, and we're just going to notch that or trim off some of those fibers, and it gives us a little piece to tie in. Hold that on a slight angle, and we can come around and capture that stem. And all I'm going to do is use about 2 turns probably. 1, 2, and just a pretty sparse hackle out the front, just enough to help kind of float this fly. Let it sit in the film. We'll hold it straight up and trim the excess off. Now we're going to carefully pull all those hackle fibers back and make a few turns where we can clean that head up just a little bit. And then we can whip finish. Whip finish right there. Add a little drop of head cement. And we have a little midge for those winter days when fish are sipping on top and you're wondering what they're eating. Something that'll look like a little midge hatching.